still, he could just attack into my Reshiram, I think, and I would probably lose, because I don't have access to another one. Typhlosion doesn't attack very well versus Yanmega. He could probably pester me with Mew once, and then Yanmega Sonic Boom for a knockout. But he plays a Judge. Now this is interesting because it's going to give me a chance to draw a new hand. Like you saw, my hand was completely dead. But there we go. I draw Professor Juniper. I'll be back in this game. Maybe I'll draw into some energy. At any rate, just having that supporter goes miles and miles. I just need options at this point. If I can get set up, if I can get another Reshiram, I'll probably win this game. Even after being in such a bad position, if I set up eventually, I will be able to win. As long as I play carefully. Now that's mainly due to the fact that I played 3 Quilava. If I only played 2 Quilava, I would lose this game. I also think if he hadn't walked into that rescue energy being activated, I probably would have lost this game as well, because I wouldn't have any way to get another Quilava into play. And eventually I just wouldn't have enough energy on my Reshirams, and I would just lose. Plain and simple, I would lose. So, here we are. He has to decide what he wants to do. He did judge me, but there are 4 Typhlosions left in my deck. Actually 3, because he only knocked out the one. The Jirachi sent one back into my hand, so when he played a Judge, it shuffled it back into my deck. And looks like he linear attacked my Quilava. Now, I mentioned that the time limit might kick him out of the game, but this is only a practice game, so it doesn't actually kick you out in a practice game. But I do have the Typhlosion, which was very fortunate. And a Juniper, which got me an entirely new hand. Now, I also draw that crucial double colorless that I had in my hand earlier. What's this going to do? Well, it'll let me put it on Typhlosion, and I take back the Reshiram, because that could have lost me the game. But I put it on Typhlosion. First I'm going to Afterburner to Reshiram, because I'm going to Blue Flare this turn. But when I put that double colorless onto Typhlosion, it makes Sludge Drag a million times less powerful, because I can just retreat. It's only 1 energy to retreat, and that changes the entire dynamic of the matchup. Now I'm going to Blue Flare here. There's going to be 2 energy left on my Reshiram, and a double colorless on the Typhlosion, so even if he Sludge Drags me out, I'll be able to just, retreat. If I draw an energy, I'll be able to Afterburner to the active, attach to the Typhlosion again to prevent against Sludge Drag. And I'll just be able to win. It's also important to note that even if he sends up a fresh Mew with 60 hit points, it won't matter, because I have 30 on that Reshiram already. So, if he Sludge Drags a Typhlosion, I retreat, I can simply Afterburner to the Reshiram, and then Outrage for 60, and that'll be a knockout too, and then attach to the Typhlosion. So basically, this matchup is all about energy. How many do you have in play? Do you have enough to be able to retreat your Pokemon? And it's actually a very complex matchup that comes down to a lot of thinking and very small details, which is why it's fun to play out. Now, he judges me again, which is very fortunate because at this point I've drawn everything I need. I have 2 Fire Energy left and another Juniper. This will pretty much seal the game for me. Unless there's something I haven't seen that would really throw me off. I'm going to have access to everything, because the only thing I really needed was that last energy. Now my hand was so big that he probably thought I had one, so he probably felt it necessary to judge me. Of course the reality was my hand was terrible, but there's no way for him to know that, so he saw my big hand, he got scared, he judged me to a 4-card hand, and unfortunately he gave me an even better hand, so that's unfortunate, but that's how the game goes sometimes. And now that all of his Pokemon are up against my huge Reshiram, there's nothing he can really do. His strength in his deck is destroying my setup, making sure I don't get these giant Pokemon into play. But once I do, there's not much he can do about it. Look, a Yanmega, that's not going to do much against Reshiram. A Mew, that's only got 60 hit points. What can he really do? Reshiram's got 130 hit points. It hits for 120 damage. If I can keep fueling it every turn, sure. I'll just keep knocking him out. There's nothing he can do about it. But if he takes out these Typhlosions over and over, that's how he's going to win. I won't be able to keep powering up the Reshiram. But when it gets to this point, there's nothing he can do. Because I'm just going to keep knocking him out. There's nothing he can do about it. Now, I'm taking a long time to think here, because I'm just making sure there's no way he can win. What's actually going through my head is, what if he runs a black belt? Then he can knock out my Reshiram next turn. So, I want to account for that. Is there any way I can avoid that happening? So, I just want to do some math, because the only way he'll be able to attack and black belt and knock me out is with Yanmega, so he's going to have to even hand sizes. If I knock out the Mew, he's going to get one back. He's going to get a card back from the Mew. He'll be able to Sunshine Grace with Sunflora to put an extra card into his hand. He's going to draw a card, so I figure let's just play Juniper. That way I'll have 8 cards in my hand after I draw my prize. I'll go ahead and Afterburner to my Typhlosion, and I'll Rage for 20. Plus 30, should be 50. Either one would have knocked him out. So now I'll have an 8 card hand. Even if he did have a black belt, there's no way he can match my hand size and play the black belt. So the Reshiram will survive. He can sludge drag out anything on my field. Doesn't matter. And I'll have, look, I have 3 energy in my hand. I'll be able to retreat. And then Afterburner and just Blue Flare for the win. So at this point, it's pretty academic. If he sludge drags out the Typhlosion, I just retreat. Afterburner to Reshiram, win the game. If he sludge drags out Ninetales or Cyndaquil, that doesn't really matter. I don't even need an energy. I can just Afterburner to my active, retreat, and Outrage for 50. Then next turn I'll just be able to win. So he's locked in a pretty bad situation. Not much he can do. And he's just going to sit here and think, try to find a way out. Because really, in his position, he's probably shocked. He had complete control of this game. It looked like he was just going to steamroll me. I mean, I had nothing for the longest time. But again, I think that small turn where he decided to attack into my Typhlosion with the rescue energy and give me back my Quilava and the Typhlosion, that's what really changed the game. He allowed me to get a Typhlosion into play when I wouldn't have been able to. So, he's just thinking over the options, trying to find a way out of here. But I'm fairly sure there's no way he can win at this point. It's just an inevitability that I'll be able to win. Plays the Twins, just to search through his deck, see if he's got anything. So let's see if he has any tricks up his sleeve that I haven't seen yet. And no. So he decides there's nothing he can do to win, and he concedes the game. Now that was a crazy game. Really back and forth, really shows how complex that matchup can be. And I just wanted to show that game to show you how actually deep and complex Pokemon games can become. If you see, every little move in that game counted. Every small detail changed the outcome of that game. One attack here, one energy attachment there, a decision to judge here. Every little thing mattered. And when you're playing Pokemon at this high of a level, that's how complex it is. When you make a mistake, like Jason made a small mistake just attacking into my Typhlosion, and that cost him the game. If he didn't do that, he would have won the game. So I'm just posting this game to point out how complex Pokemon really is when you get down to it, how every turn matters, every attack matters, and actually every card in your deck matters, because let's be honest, the weird cards in my deck, like the third Quilava, the double colorless energy, those all came out too. If I didn't have those, I would have lost. So it's just a lesson to pay attention to every detail in Pokemon, and don't take anything for granted, and maybe it'll let you appreciate just how much it takes to be a great world's level competitor. And hopefully it gave you some insight into how a top level player would think about this game. So if you liked what you saw, leave me some feedback in the comments. Leave me some questions if you had any. thank you for watching, as usual. This game was streamed live on our stream. I am trying to stream more daily. Unfortunately, sometimes the site goes down. Not much I can do about that, but I am trying to stream more often so I can show off the games I'm playing. So tune into that. Pay attention to our Facebook and Twitter for updates to see when those go up. But until then, thank you for watching, and we'll be back with some more videos soon. Thank you.